I want to welcome everyone to the first town hall of the second quarter. Hope everyone is having a great April so far, and hope everyone had a good first quarter. We heard a lot of positive comments over the Easter weekend, a lot of positive comments about the delicious meals that was prepared, and of course the weather was beautiful. So I hope everyone had a great time over the Easter weekend. My name is Dennis Kimball. For anyone I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm the Director of Financial Services here at Freedom Plaza, and I'm filling in for Angie Rohr, who's our Executive Director, while she is attending a conference this week. So she'll probably be here later in the week, and so appreciate you putting up with me today as I do this. Our first quarter, we've had an excellent start to the year. In a future update, either the next town hall or the appetizers with Angie event, something like that, we will give you specifics on some of the recent updates, but we've had an excellent first quarter. Sales-wise, we had right up until Saturday, the last day of the quarter, we got our 12th closing of our first quarter. So we were very thrilled about that. You'll hear more about that. I'm sure Iris will speak to that, but the entire sales team has just been working really hard, and that's 2 over budget. And again, we're trying, as always, to constantly, bring in, new people. So anyway, that was excellent news. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, and some of the items we're going to be covering today, we're going to introduce the employees of the month. Then we're going to have a grad school update. Then Arlene will be coming up here to discuss some changes coming with Innovative Home Services. And then we're going to have an introduction of a gentleman you've probably seen walking around a little bit around the community. He's going to be coming up to introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about the NIPS program. And then finally, Teresa will come up and give our a dining update. Seems to be a permanent fix everyone loves to talk about. So with that, let's get started. I'd like to introduce, first of all, Carmen Gomez. Carmen is over at Independent Living here. She works in environmental services. You've probably seen her around the dining room areas and the atrium common areas, but we thank you for your excellent service. Next, I'd like to introduce Norma Cruz, and I don't believe Norma's here. Right? Okay. And Norma is being recognized for her excellent service as a med tech over at the end. And then finally, Melissa Wilkerson. Melissa is being recognized for her excellent work in social services over at Plaza West. So we thank you. All of these employees of the month will be getting 400 extraordinary rewards points, which has the value of about $100. They'll also be getting to park in the next month in the employee of the month parking spot. So again, we thank you for all your hard work. All right, with that, let me introduce John Foster, who is going to come up and tell you some of the recent grad school updates.
Good morning. As the only remaining member of last year's Graduate School for Seniors Committee, I have served as a kind of liaison for our new GSS committee as we launch our curriculum for 2024. I've been asked to introduce co-chairperson Dan Madden, who will brief you all on our exciting trimester program. Dan and Sandra Thorson are leading this effort as co-chairs. We have a team of dedicated and talented committee members, which Dan will introduce shortly. And now please welcome co-chair of our Graduate School for Seniors Committee, Dan Madden.
Thanks very much, John. And I also want to thank Stephanie and Dennis for allowing us some time on your busy agenda to talk with you. Okay, very good. Well, I am shorter. So I wanted to thank John, but also to thank Stephanie and Dennis for carving out a spot for us to update you on some of the exciting changes that are occurring with the grad school program. In large measure, what we're doing is we're simply expanding its reach. It's been a high-quality program that has run in October or November of each year here at Freedom Plaza. And with the encouragement of members of the previous board, and actually listening to many of you as well, we have embarked on an effort to have this grad school program run from May all the way to November, so a 7-month period of time where we'll be having programs. We're going to handle it by dividing it into trimesters and putting out a bulletin board with all of those classes that are available in each phase. So that is like the heart of the program. But there's a couple of other features that we'd like to share with you. First of all, it is going to be propelled, as I said, by the bulletin board. So we will not be needing to put out 3 different catalogs. Instead, people will know that to come to the bulletin board located just outside the club room, there's a bulletin board with all the information about how to register for classes, what classes are available, some detailed information on the instructors, and what they're covering. The other significant thing is for this to work for 7 months, it was important that we not tie up the auditorium. And so in partnership with Rock and with the management here, we acquired, and mainly Rock is the one that paid for it, a new 75-inch television in the club room, which means that pretty much all of our classes can be successfully delivered in the club room. And it's a nice, cozy sort of atmosphere, but a 75-inch TV is ideal for an instructor and for anybody sitting, in the back rows. Usually we have a maximum of 24 or so in the class, so it will work out very, very well, even though we will be increasing the number of classes pretty dramatically. And that's maybe the fourth thing that I wanted to mention to you that's different. As we went about the business of recruiting potential instructors, we discovered there were a lot of really, really bright, talented, informed people right here in Freedom Plaza, but who really didn't want to commit themselves to a 6-week program. They were willing to do 1 week or 3 weeks. And we have developed a whole series of 1 week or 1 session programs that I think are going to be very, very appealing to people. That said, I think I should maybe mention, before I go into detail on some of the classes that are available, I would like to mention the amount of appreciation that we have for all the support that we receive from management since coming up with this idea. A few people to mention certainly would be Stephanie, who has gone out of her way to help us get copies of the registration form out to all of you. And the whole office has been very good at helping us get the word out on the program. Secondly, it's Sibby and his department for maintenance. We had a pretty bizarre request. We needed a new television and somebody willing to take responsibility for it. And so his people are doing that. But way more important is he helped us put our bulletin board up in record time, and we have lighting for it so that it's a warm, comfortable place to go to for people to go and read about the programs. So that's the basic nature of it. Because we have these 1-day sessions, we feel like we have a full smorgasbord, you might say, of learning opportunities, depending on how long you want to make a commitment to a class. So if we can, perfect, okay, way ahead of me, great. So we've kind of in our minds divided our classes into long courses and the short courses. The long courses that we're featuring for this first trimester include John Foster has been giving for some time now an excellent first class advanced bridge class. And those of you that play bridge and want to hone your skills further, this is an ideal opportunity for you. This class usually sells out, and I wanted everybody here with that kind of knowledge of bridge to know about it so they get themselves signed up as quickly as possible, because we only can have, what, 28 spots, John? About 28 spots, so they're gonna go fast. Not as likely to go fast is the course that I'm leading on the American Revolution, but I think it's an excellent class. It will be a 6-week one, and whereas in the past I gave a class last October on the coming of the American Revolution, what led to it and created the circumstances for it, this time we'll be talking about the revolution itself. And the focus here will be on not only the military aspects of it, how it happened from a military perspective, but also what kinds of constitutional changes were brought because of the American Revolution to the individual states. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the diplomatic impact on Europe of the American Revolution. So it's pretty full coverage of it. I love this course and I hope you will enjoy it as well. The other two courses are 2 3-session classes. One is on Mahjong. We're really happy to find a great Mahjong instructor because it's one of those, like bridge has been growing quite a bit in its popularity among seniors. Mahjong is growing very, very heavily. The only thing I know personally about Mahjong, I just learned now that it's spelled with 2 G's on the end instead of 1 G. But if you want to learn a lot more about Mahjong, we have Christina Bosworth who will be teaching that class for us. And we're very pleased to be able to offer that kind of a repertoire. And then the last long course is from a friend of mine that I was taught with at the Center for Learning right here in Sun City Center. He's been giving classes on various types of economic issues for several years now with great success. And so we were able to borrow him to give a 3-session class on international trade and why it matters to you. So those are the larger, longer courses for the first trimester. And the short courses I think are very, very interesting. One of them is going to be by Mary Duncan. She's talking about the Battle of Kings Mountain. Many people are not so aware of it, but it's a pivotal battle in the story of the American Revolution. Turns out her ancestors were involved, and I think that always makes for a more interesting way of talking about a battle through, she more or less discovered it through genealogy more than anything else. So I think that's going to be delightful. Ken Rodman is giving a course that's already very popular called History of Rock and Roll. Just be a 1-day session. And then we've got 2 more. One is for introductory, can we go? I want to make sure. One more, I think. Yes, thank you. Card making, Seda Warner is teaching that one. Basically is how to make your own greeting cards. And you'll be able to do that in 1 session with her. And then there's another class on beading. So we feel like, we truly have a full smorgasbord of learning opportunities for folks here at Freedom Plaza. How does the whole system work? All you need pretty much is this registration form. They're available at the bulletin board. We have a little slot for all of them, and we have other slots that include copies of descriptions in more detail, who the instructors were, and what the substance of the class will be. You can find all of that there. But this registration form, we think, and I have to give Ann Skinner and Pearl Birnbaum credit for coming up with such a straightforward system But all you gotta do is go over to the bulletin board, pick a few classes, circle them, write a check, and bring it to the front desk. What could be easier than that? Attach the check. Thank you, John. Write the check to cash. So, which is maybe a surprise, but it saves all kinds of IRS problems, I guess. So anyway, it's very smooth for us and very smooth for you, we think. So I think that there's only one thing I'd like to do more, and that is to highlight the members of the board who are here, because you may have questions not only that you want to ask here, but later. But Sandra Thorson, as John said, is my co-chair. Ian Skinner and Pearl Birnbaum, who focus more on the registration part of it. But if you have any questions, they're part of our board and they can help get them all answered for you. In addition, Ellen Lieserson and Tommy Renault have been working on the bulletin board and trying to keep that up to snuff. And John also has been helping them get it set up as well. So we've ended up with some semi-task forces. In addition, we have Carolyn Deming, who has been working on special projects and being all around helpful. I hope you know some of those folks. And should I ask for questions? Any questions from people about the new program? Yeah, yes,
I
Jan.
mentioned to you about the meeting. Gene Harrison is doing that class. And if you have any questions about it, call Gene Harrison. I think you'd like that class. I've seen what she does in the way of jewelry, and she does a great job. I think she can explain the class very well, and maybe you become interested in meeting.
Thank you very much, Dan. I did omit her name, I guess, so didn't intend to. Anything else? Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Dan. Sounds like some excellent opportunities to learn here. So hope y'all get to take advantage of that. Next, let me call up Arlene Jacobson, who you're familiar with for Innovative Home Services. She's going to share some new services that are coming out.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to announce that we now have a new project called Catch a Ride with Us. And so you're able to book a ride with IHS to take you to personalized appointments, whether it's the doctors, movies, going to visit family, wherever you may want to go. The price for it is $27 an hour, plus mileage of 62 cents per mile, which is round trip. And did anybody have any questions about it? Yes.
How late can you be picked up from somewhere?
It's gonna be up until 7 p.m. And so it can change. Nothing is set in stone right now. It'll be on a case-by-case basis. Okay. Anybody else? One-way trip, yes, we can do that. But we can't do drop-off and pick-ups though, at this time. So usually the person is gonna, when they take you somewhere, they're gonna stay with you that entire time. But if you want it just to drop off and we're not going back, then that'll be fine. Because of the tram that we have right now, it's one that, thank you to Jeff who gave to us, it's one of the older trams. And I don't think it's a good idea to go as far as the airport. You know, maybe in a few years when we get a newer model car. But right now I didn't want them to get on the highway and do like highway miles. So the airport is out for right now. Any other questions? All right, and I wanted to thank everyone who has supported IHS since I've been here over the last couple of years. I appreciate everything and all of the business that you all give me. Thanks.
Thanks, Arlene. Arlene has been really coming up with some new services over the last year and has just been doing great. So I hope you all have the opportunity to take advantage of some of that. Now I would like to formally introduce someone you've probably seen walking around the campus over the last week or so. We've made comments about this new program coming out. Let me introduce Devin Miller. He works with the organization National Institute for Fitness and Sport, also known as NIFS. And so he will introduce himself and tell you a little bit about the program.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So a little bit about me. I've been in the health, wellness, and fitness industry for about 8 years. I'm going to be working with Freedom Plaza and NIFS. So I'm kind of the middle guy in controlling, health and wellness activities. Oh, I'm sorry. Can everybody hear me a little better now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in charge of health and wellness activities. Basically, the first thing we're going to focus on is class scheduling. So I know we kind of talked about BFit. I know everybody's heard about that. Gary's last month, it's going to be in April. But I'm sorry if anybody didn't know that. But hopefully, we make some changes. Maybe not. But we're going to be offering a lot of different classes. This is just kind of an example of what we're going to be doing. We're still kind of workshopping it around. The biggest thing is kind of doing aquatic classes, yoga-based class, Tai Chi class, and then factoring in strength training, nutrition. We're bringing back Freedom Breathers, which is super important. I know there was a lot of interest in that. But yeah. Next slide, please. So this is going to be, I believe we're rolling it out next week. This will be on the back side of the calendar, kind of explaining each class and what it's going to be. If you have any questions on this, once you see the calendar, my email will be on it. And then you can come find me in the fitness center. That's currently where my office is. I know I've met a couple of you. I'm still getting used to the names, so bear with me. I'm not the best with names. Next one. And then we're going to be going over appointments. So there's going to be 3 things. Orientation appointments. So this is where I kind of take you around the gym, kind of showing you how to use each of the machines. Bob did a great job of explaining it, but if you need more of a hands-on kind of approach, I will be in there, and I do have scheduled gym hours where I can show you different movements. That way you're kind of utilizing and optimizing your time in the fitness center. The next thing is going to be filling out forms. We actually did bring a bunch of forms over by Stephanie, making sure that you do your health questionnaire. This is going to be really useful for me to kind of help recommend the fitness classes that we're going to be rolling out here in the future. Then there's also going to be a one-on-one assessment. So this is just going to be your senior fitness evaluation, kind of see where you are. And it's also going to help me recommend exercise prescription for you along with the classes. Next slide. All right, so this is Pump It for Parkinson's. This is an event that's going to be starting next week. We won't be doing classes next Thursday. I'll also put it out in the weekly. But I would love to see everybody sign up. This is also by Stephanie. If you have any questions, let me or Lisa know. There is also a sign-up sheet in the fitness center and Lisa's office. One thing that we're trying to do is this month is bring awareness for Parkinson's. And Ellie Anderson, if you could stand up for me, is actually starting a support group as well. So if you want to speak to her and kind of ask her about it and sign up, and then you can talk to Lisa as well. We're really trying to bring awareness to it. It's super important, and I'd love to see everybody involved. It's only a 15-minute time increment on the sign-up sheet. So if you want to do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, you can. It's all on the New Step or the Biodex. It's going to be in the atrium. I would love to see everybody involved. And then the next few slides are just going to be examples of events and activities I'm going to be rolling out here in the future. So March 1st to 31st, obviously, you know, we passed this month already, but this is something we can do in the future. The next one's really cool. Can we go to that? This is outside activities. I know there's an excellent nature trail here, and I definitely want to utilize that in the best way possible. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. I'm super open to feedback. If you think something sucks, totally cool. I'm cool with that feedback too. I'm open to hearing everything.
You need to do some trail grooming on the nature trail.
Yeah,
We get a lot of folks out.
okay, we'll make sure we focus on that too then. Next slide is just aqua aerobics and aqua activities. So we're gonna be doing 3 aqua classes. I believe it's gonna be 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we're also, my goal is to focus on doing some kind of event in the pool area as well. That way we're just utilizing that space, and the people that enjoy the pool can have some fun in that area, just focusing on an event as well. That's it. Questions? Yes.
Will people who have a walker be able to do the Tai Chi and yoga classes?
Yeah, so there are going to be some classes that will be focused on people with walkers and, you know, unable to do certain movements. Could you go back to this calendar for me? One forward, sorry. Oh, no. That one. Yeah, so each class is going to have a description, and then there is also an intensity based on it. So on the low intensity, medium intensity, and high intensity, I would recommend starting with low intensity. Those are going to be for the people, you know, who are just starting, or, you know, have different, you know, challenges that they need to work around, like a walker of some sort. And then as you progress, we can kind of increase your intensity. You're welcome. Yes.
You're open. Many years back, about dancing. Music, you got
Mm-hmm.
that means, you know, aerobic movement. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's gonna be movement, there's gonna be everything. I'm gonna focus on everything. I think it's all important. Yeah, there will be music, absolutely.
I participated in the breathers class, which had been an hour, or maybe just a little short of an hour, 50 minutes perhaps. I noted on the calendar that it's been reduced to only 30 minutes. Is there a reason, or can we include maybe some additional exercises? It's on Thursday at, now it's at 11 o'clock, it had been at 10.
Yeah, so the schedule's not set in stone on this one. However, it's 30 minutes, and we can increase the time based on how everyone feels after the class. I don't want to start out too strong, and 50 minutes end up being too long and too challenging for some people. So I feel like a slower and smaller approach is better and safer. And if everybody wants a longer period of time, we can always increase it. Yeah, so that's going to be the exercise and prescription. So once you fill out the health information, I will reach out and schedule a senior fitness evaluation, and then we'll do the exercise prescription. And I can recommend classes that way as well.
Is there going to be a fee for this program?
Oh, no
Will there
fees.
be a fee for this program?
No fees.
Did I understand that Gary's BFIT program is going to be canceled?
Not the BFIT, Gary just will no longer be here.
So who's going to be doing it?
I will be here.
I will be here.
eventually. Not
Yeah,
right now.
potentially,
But
yeah.
a lot of people who like to dance. The Zumba class would be nice.
Yeah, we're gonna start small with the classes,
Yeah.
and then we'll take everybody's feedback, and, you know, if you like it, if you want me to change something, we can definitely do that. The program is what you make it, and what you want from it. You know, I'm just facilitating it, essentially. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I hope to see everybody around here. Remember, Pump It for Parkinson's is over there. Sign up for it, and then make sure you grab your health evaluation forms on the way out, okay? And then return them to me or Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. We have heard a lot of good things about the NIPS program. I remember last year when Angie and I were working through the budget cycle, and that was one of the new programs we were excited that we were able to get approved. Again, we've heard a lot of good things, and we look forward to hearing the good reports, and we welcome Devin here to the community. Last but not least, I call up Teresa. She's going to provide some dining updates.
I'm gonna swap this mic, you know, I like. So, who attended Easter dinner? How was it? Good. It's our first holiday on the new dining program. We heard a lot of very positive comments. It went very well. We served almost 300. In the atrium, we had deviled eggs as one of the items. Rosa was out there on Sunday. How many deviled eggs do you think we did? I told a couple of you. 3,000. Too high, but kind of close. How about 1,200? 1,200 deviled eggs. I don't think she ever wants to see an egg again. When Chef Jamie said we're going to do different types of deviled eggs, I'm like, wow, you really don't like her, do you? Poor Rosa. So we had a big weekend with Easter, and then we rolled right into cycle 1 yesterday. We are repeating our cycle, but you saw some items dropped off of the menu. We added some new items on. Last night, fish and chips was a top seller. We had good participation in the Premier Dining program and also in the new sports bar. How do you like the new sports bar menu? Good, right? We had 77 residents participate in the sports bar yesterday. It was very good. The grouper sandwich is a nice new addition. Most of the item is new, but we did bring some items on from the Premier Dining into the sports bar to hopefully capture additional residents that want to eat kind of a midday meal with the grilled salmon and the grilled chicken. So that's our first menu change in the sports bar. We're always looking for more suggestions. Most of the changes that we made were suggestions that came from residents. Again, with that sports bar menu, if it's a low selling and we're not getting a lot of participation on an item, it will fall off the menu. It doesn't mean it's gone forever. It just kind of goes into retirement, and we bring it out of retirement, maybe change it up a little bit. And the grill. The grill is kind of our next project. I know you all got the memo on Friday about the grill. We do need to right size some of the pricing in there. And we also have kind of the same situation that we had in the dining room where we have like an identity crisis. We kind of feel like if 5 or 6 residents come to us and say we want to see this on the menu, we just keep adding items to the menu. So it becomes too large for everyone to be able, in the grill, to be able to execute. I think that a lot of you would agree that the grill team is amazing, right? One of the best teams here. I mean, the tenure, they've been here 20 plus years. Daniel and Sonia really hold it down in the grill, but they're exhausted. The menu is very large. Our participation has increased. Participation has almost doubled in the American Grill, which is great. We want you to go to the American Grill. We want you to go to all of the concepts. We're still not capturing a lot of participation in the sports bar from like 1 to 3, except for that complimentary beverage, which I would be there as well. So, but you know, maybe instead of going into the grill, we go into the sports bar. So we're trying to put some items in the sports bar to get some participation that way. But after talking with the grill associates and looking at the menu, there are items that, you know, we maybe sell like 2 or 3 of, or maybe, you know, and I'm talking about like in maybe like a 2-3 day span that we can take off the menu. There are, you know, specials. The signature program is kind of flat. We've been running a lot of the same things. The grill's been like kind of an afterthought because we've really focused on main dining. So exactly what we did with main dining, we're gonna look to do into the grill. We've really amped up our general store. We continue to add items in there and to try to keep the cases stocked. We're still trying to figure out what everyone wants. And end of cycles also, dictate what we need and when we need to have stuff in there. So suggestions are definitely welcome. Shoot me an email, stop by my office, drop a note under my door. Let us know what you'd like to see in there. What we're looking at on the menu for the first go around is probably more or less to like streamline it and keep those freedom favorites on, because if I took the breakfast sandwich off, like that would be a bad thing, right? Yeah, because we sell, in a month, we sell over 1,200 breakfast sandwiches. So y'all like breakfast sandwiches. So, but there's items that can come off. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna incorporate some new items in. Very similar to the sports bar. The sports bar menu was kind of just like 6-8 items, and they were very, easy. And now we got a little bit more creative. We added some additional items in to see what we can do. There's just a lot of moving parts in the grill. So we will be talking about it in the next 2 months. We will have a introductory menu that we're going to send out to you all so that you can see what we're planning. And then of course you're going to give us feedback, and then we'll get it right. Just like we did with the sports bar, just like we did with Premier Dining, right? So that's why we have 60 days to kind of work through this. I'm also going to be doing a food forum and getting additional feedback. Just walking the dining rooms and kind of hanging out in the sports bar. You might see me down there with my laptop and making that my office for the next couple months. So, any questions for me in dining? Barry.
I got a question. Instead of pork bacon, why don't you have turkey bacon?
Turkey bacon instead of pork bacon. Okay, that's a good suggestion.
Healthier, right?
It is healthier. It is healthier. Anyone else? Yes.
We have the same with your benches. It's almost the same everything. Every time it's changed, some of them are zucchini, I don't see zucchini.
Okay, so the question was, we have the same vegetables in the Premier Dining program for the 2-week span. Can we add things like zucchini and whatnot? And we can definitely change for seasonality. Yeah, we can definitely look at that. We tend to have the breakdown, it's like 5 starches, 5 veg, but if we need to kind of lower the starches that we're doing, like our potatoes, sweet potatoes, that kind of stuff, and add additional vegetables in, if that's something that the entire community would like to do, we can look into that. Ms. Fernandez?
Yes, what happened? You got plaza salad in there, but you don't have the dressing. And it's not good without the plaza salad dressing.
I do apologize for that. Yesterday I think they put too much vinegar in the dressing. We'll recover on that today. I apologize.
No, you got honey mustard, that's not for plaza salad.
Towards the end of the night, I pulled it because it wasn't the right dressing. But thank you.
In the sports bar,
Yes.
for someone who, I'm sorry, for someone who wants to come in or have some friends that come in and they want to have a drink and they really don't want one of the heavier things that are on the little menu, what about, you can buy a little thing of nuts in there, or what we used to like, the mix with all the really cereals and things that used to be in it.
You want like a little trail mix or something that you can purchase?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
I was just thinking of that.
Great suggestion. I'm stuck to my shirt.
Just a question, can you get turkey burgers instead of beef burgers at any time?
In the grill, we should have vegan burgers. Turkey burgers are going to be an addition to the menu, to the new grill menu. It will be choose your patty and then your topping. So we are looking to incorporate that more on a regular basis.
Wonderful.
Anyone else? All right, well, thank you all.
Thank you, Teresa. That concludes our show for the day. Thank you for coming out. And everyone have a great April.